The reason to connect a domain to a funnel is so that the branding is aligned. Um, when you're building a funnel page or a web page, you have access to the preview, and that is a real URL on the internet. And if so, you send that link to someone, they can find it and they can look at it. Um, the reason we want a branded URL is so that it's in alignment with the company's brand. So if you were to send somebody a URL that is omnihub.io slash preview of my super duper thing, that's about traffic to my domain. That's not about traffic to their domain. So if
Hmm.
instead you're sending traffic, so if you send somebody a calendar link and say, "Hey, here's the calendar link," it says omnihub.io and it's not aligned with the therapist brand in any form or fashion, then it just feels and looks odd. Um, and from a SEO systems perspective, for automation to person registration, that misalignment creates conflicts in the approval process. The people that do the approvals don't think that's a good thing. They want the company brand name and the company URL to be in alignment. Um, and in the long term, for development of traffic, driving traffic to omnihub.io is good for me, but it's not good for
Hmm.
them. For the client, they need the traffic to be going to their domain so that their domain gets traffic. All right. So
Hmm.
that's the reason to do it. So if you don't mind sharing,
Sure.
and we'll go to uh
Uh,
so if you go,
back
yeah, if you go to
site.
the site
Hmm.
and then you go from the funnel
Oh.
or from funnel or the website or the store, whatever they are, you go to
Hmm.
settings. And then if you don't have any domains connected, then you click this add domains, connect a domain. And we're going to connect it to the funnel sites as opposed to the client portal. So
Hmm.
here's where you're going to type the domain that you have already registered in your domain registry.
Hmm.
And then it's going to, if there are a couple of services, and I know Cloudflare is one of them, and I'm drawing a blank on what the other one is, that if you click continue at this point, it will literally go out and find it. But
Hmm.
if you click continue, and it can't find it, um, then you'll have to add the record manually. So where's your domain registry store?
I'm not sure. I know they use Webflow, but
Okay. So it's on Webflow. Okay.
mhm.
So do they already have a site on Thrizer.com?
Yep.
Okay, so what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to do a subdomain on
Okay.
Thrizer.com. Uh,
So add record manually or
well, so let's X this.
okay.
And if you don't have, we are going to actually not be able to do this if you don't have access to their domain. Um,
Hmm.
unless you're going to do on their behalf, you're going to do it like Thrizer.net. Um,
Hmm.
so because the next thing I was going to have to do is have you open the domain settings. Well, let's go ahead and go through the rest of the process that we can without having, hold on, X this,
Oh, sorry.
that we can to tell you where we have to go. So now, technically, the www is a subdomain, but
Hmm.
everybody's www automatically redirects to the root domain. So what you're going
Hmm.
to do is you're going to create in their domain registry a new subdomain. So instead of www.thrizer.com, it's going to say something like so this is a booking funnel, right?
Um, it's more of just a sign up because this specific client is a software service.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Right. So it's a sales funnel.
Yeah.
Okay, so you might title this instead of the WW, you might put the word info, or you might put the word promo for promotional.
Hmm.
Um, you put some word in front of the Thrizer.com,
Hmm.
and that becomes the um, we're going to actually do this. We're going to show you that. And so then you'll need to, um,
Hmm.
on their domain registration, you're going to have to add a new CNAME. So if you click continue and then click add record manually, it's going to show you the CNAME record and the value that you're going to have to add to their domain registration in order to get promo.thrizer.com to show
Hmm.
up on the internet as and it to point to the thing that you and I both know how to find using the OmniHub.io preview. Okay.
Hmm.
All right.
Okay.
So let's try a different way.
We could do if this doesn't work, we could also do it for a different client.
Okay.
Just so you know. Yeah.
That you have access to the
Hmm.
DNS records. Okay, let's do this. Um, and this I'll probably have I'm going to experiment here for a second, and
Hmm.
we might have to certainly I'm going to have to gray out some things, blur
Hmm.
out some things. The other thing I will have to do is I might have to clip out this next test. So click the X button. Um, Click back to domains. Click, uh, oh, interesting. Just click your back arrow on your browser. Oh, it's good. Yeah, because we need to go back to, um, let's, um, yeah. So the other way you can sometimes do this is in the menu on the website itself, but then you
Hmm.
have to have access to editing the website. Um, you can add a menu item that links to the preview. And
Hmm.
so even though it's technically still on the omnihub.io, at least you can
Hmm.
link to it off of the parent website. All right.
Hmm.
Um, and then you send people the link to that specific page on the website. All right.
Hmm.
So let's yeah, if you've got a different one, a different
Yeah.
client that you have access to the DNS records.
I don't think I'll have access for any of them.
Oh, okay.
Um, it'll probably be the same, huh? Um,
Yeah. So if you know what the domain is, but you don't have access to the DNS records,
hmm.
then because do they have a website on this domain?
They do, yes.
Okay, see, so this is the issue is if you do this, uh,
Hmm.
then the multiple A records creates a conflict and it overwrites. That's why you need a
Okay.
that's why we need to do it as a subdomain.
Hmm.
Um, we have to there has to be only one root domain, which is the A record
Hmm.
on a site. Um, and what you're building are landing pages for marketing purposes, sales
Hmm.
purposes, and you're not changing their primary root domain website.
Hmm.
So for the purpose that we're trying to do, we need a subdomain that
Hmm.
is in again, so that is a something dot the root domain dot com. Uh,
Hmm.
so the dot com dot net dot biz whatever that is that part um, is the TLD top level domain, and then the
Hmm.
root domain is the company name that is registered with that top level domain, and then the the any dot something or multiple dot somethings in front of that are all um are all subdomains of the root domain. And there
Hmm.
can only be one A record in the root domain that the TLD looks for. From the TLD, it looks for what is the next root domain, and that's where it goes and
Hmm.
finds all of the A record and any subsequent C records.
Okay.
Okay.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, good. Phew. There's a lot of technical that's happening in the background, and I'm trying to go like I'm certainly not a web guy well enough versed to know all of the technical things that that means, but
Hmm.
I know how to describe it, and I when I start describing it, I worry that I'm gonna get see. So yeah, um, when there's already an A record,
Hmm.
then this will become a problem. That's why we need to use a CNAME.
Okay.
Um,
So in this case, would I ignore the top one and just try to implement the bottom one?
you need a different CNAME.
Okay.
You can have multiple CNAMEs. You just can't have multiple A records.
Okay. So what would I do in this case?
So, um, what you, you have two options. Option one, the more correct way to deal with this is in their GoDaddy,
Mhm.
um, add a CNAME that's named something other than www. That add a CNAME that is named promos or schedule
Mhm.
or info or something that is reasonable based on what the content of the page is.
Mhm.
But the A record and the www both need to point to the root domain only.
Mhm.
Um, the CNAMEs can all point to wherever on the internet that thing is built. In this case, inside HighLevel, um, and that's and it's built inside HighLevel. Therefore, it's hosted by Cloudflare at sites.ludicrous.cloud. That's
Mhm.
that required value in the C where it says CNAME.
Mhm.
So what it's going to say is info at Thrizer um,
Mhm.
is found not at GoDaddy, but at
Mhm.
sites.ludicrous.cloud, which is Cloudflare.
Mhm.
Um,
Would this be because we have a like they set something up previously? Do you think that's why we're running into this?
no, that's not even it's not even a problem. It's
Okay.
that's exactly what it is. So
Okay.
if you if you X this so I can see the actual
Yeah.
the domain that's written there, Thrizer.com.
Oh, I think I get you. Wait, so let's do
So
so my theory is the result should be different, right? If we add the subdomain.
right.
All right.
The the but the so this is what you would then add to their Webflow domain settings,
Mm.
DNS records.
Okay.
So
Okay.
because right now the TLD goes and searches for where is Thrizer hosted. Thrizer is hosted on Webflow. So then it goes to Webflow and it says, okay,
Hmm.
at Webflow, hold on. I see this thing called promo. Where's promo? Oh, it's not here natively on Webflow. It's somewhere else. It's over at this sites.ludicrous. Okay, so now I have to go over to Cloudflare to find the promo page. It's okay with that. That's what the internet
Hmm.
does.
Hmm.
But you have to tell it step by step how to backtrack itself to find the right page.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm. Okay.
okay. So if you don't have access to their DNS records, the thing you can do, if they
Hmm.
didn't give you editing permissions, then the other thing you do is you click continue there
Hmm.
and you copy, click continue, or no, click add, sorry, click add record manually, and you copy the promo, host
Hmm.
name, and the required value, and you send that to them in
Hmm.
an email and say, please make a CNAME with the host being promo and the value
Hmm.
being sites.lucas.cloud.
Okay.
And they add that to the records. And then when we click verify records here,
Hmm.
it will go out and search the internet and it will find that spot and it will connect them.
Hmm. Okay.
Between now and then, what you can do is you can just send people the preview link.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Yeah,
or
I can send my client like a 5 minute Loom video,
mhm,
just just kind of explaining this.
mhm.
And I think that would probably be really helpful for her.
Okay. Um, and then the other way that you can the other way you can do it is you could actually put it on your BG copywriter. So you could have a subdomain on BG copywriter that says
Mm-hmm.
thrizer.bgcopywriter.com,
Mm-hmm.
and you could do it that
Interesting.
you could do it that way. But now BG copywriter is the one that's getting the traffic.
Yeah.
But at least
Juice
it's
my
you,
numbers.
at least
No,
it's
just
you and at least well, okay. And then there's some debate about whether how much value subdomains have in an SEO. So from a pure SEO perspective, it's technically
Mhm.
a different site. So
Mhm.
from a pure SEO perspective, um, it's not technically improving the traffic to the root domain site, but
Mhm.
it's still getting more brand awareness to that brand name,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And so yeah, so that's the third way to solve it, or fourth way.
Okay.
The four and that's maybe even a better solution, especially in the near term with your clients, is instead of
Mhm.
sending them the OmniHub preview link,
Mhm.
send them a Thrizer
Dot
dot
BG copywriter.
copywriter. Yeah.
That would be sick.
Okay, let's do that.
Man,
Let's do that.
okay.
So
Okay, yeah.
can you open your DNS records in a new tab? Yep, there you go.
What
Wherever.
do you know if that would be in SiteGround?
Okay,
I
yeah.
think that's
If SiteGround is what you use, then yes, SiteGround.
okay. This is pretty
See,
cool.
I typically use Namecheap. Um,
Mhm.
there you go.
Yeah, it's funny how like people find different hosts. You know, we kind of
Yeah,
just go with like I'll speak for myself. I kind of just went for the first thing that came into my awareness,
yep.
you
And
know.
that's
So,
typically the way it goes. So it says you have one domain. Click on that
hmm.
manage button, and click on settings.
I can't wait to get this ads learning phase through. This is like, you know, new things at every corner. Maybe
Okay,
DNS zone editor,
sure, try that.
CNAME.
CNAME, yep. So the name,
Uh. Mhm.
you know, you said, uh-oh, what do you, uh-oh, about what?
Oh, no, sorry, that's just how I talk. So
Oh, okay. Okay.
I was
Yep.
excited. I was like, "Uh-oh,
Uh,
this is gonna be cool."
yep,
Yeah.
yep. Okay, there you go. So click back on OmniHub now.
Okay, should I click create?
Nope, we need the results
Okay.
to part first.
Oh, yeah.
So continue. Oh, no. Wait. So don't now change the domain from promo.thrizer to thrizer.bgcopywriter. There you go. Now
Okay.
continue. Now add record manually and copy the required value and then paste that in the results too. There
Hmm.
you go. Now create.
Okay.
Okay. Now, so now Thrizer.bg copywriter is an alias of Cloudflare,
Hmm.
sites.ludicrous.cloud, instead of being a CDN record on SiteGround. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So now let's go back to the OmniHub.
Hmm.
Click verify. Standing by, standing by, standing
Dun, 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 dun,
by.
dun, 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 dun. Do you play any instruments, Keith?
No.
No? Okay.
Um,
Okay. It's sorry, go ahead.
okay. So,
Mm.
link domain with funnel. Do that drop down menu on the Thrizer out of network. There you go. And step one, which would make sense. Or is
Uh,
it home?
so it's home, yeah.
Okay. Click on that additional option just for a second. Uh, Go ahead and put that back to the home as well.
Okay.
The so
Sm
so just circle.
Smart.
Yeah. Um, Proceed to finish.
Is it? It would be funnel type, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
So now I'm
Should we go
going.
to sites or?
Yeah, you can go back to your sites.
Hmm.
Thrizer dot bg copywriter.com.
Slash out of network.
Well, it shouldn't have to type that part because that was the home, right? You said go back to your settings. Um, well, you told me you wanted it to go to the home page instead of to the step one page.
Yeah, the step one is the one that I designed. The home is the duplicate that the designer upgraded.
Okay, so which one do you want them to go to?
This would be home would be the very first landing page.
Okay, so go back to the tab you have where it says Thrizer.bg copywriter and click
Hmm.
refresh.
Okay.
So
Ta-da!
the reason you got an error is literally the site was so new that the
Hmm.
secure socket layer had not been applied yet.
Hmm.
And so it would not resolve for us. Your web browser protected you until the security was applied. As soon as the
Hmm.
security applied, then you have it on your screen, I have it on my screen. Um,
Okay.
so you can send this to them. You can send this link to people,
Hmm.
um, and it will totally work this way um, until you can, and then you can, and it will, yeah, and it's totally operational, totally functional. Um,
Hmm.
and then when you send it to them, you could say, we can keep doing it this way, or we can add it as a subdomain on your root domain. I just need access to your DNS records.
Hmm.
Okay.
Wait, sorry, could you say that again?
So there's two ways you can proceed now. You can
Hmm.
just keep using this Thrizer.bg copywriter. You can send the
Hmm.
link out, run all of your ads to this tab, this URL, and
Hmm.
just go with it. Option two is you send them this one, say this is what it's going to look like, but can you give me access to your domain hosting registration? Here's the it needs to say what the prefix is going to be, and it needs to say sites.ludicrous.cloud. And then instead of using this, it could go directly to a subdomain on their domain host.